Packet Trap PSA, Customer Onboarding Video Series. QuickBooks Online Integration. Today's quick tutorial will walk you through the integration of QuickBooks Online and Packet Trap PSA. We'll walk through the options that you have from the Settings tab. We'll also walk through the options if you were to integrate from the Billing tab. We'll step through the QuickBooks Online Integration Wizard, and we'll also take a little bit of time to share some tips and tricks. To get started, log into your Packet Trap PSA account as an admin and go to Settings. From there, drop down to General and select Billing from the left-hand menu. Here, our first setting is which system we wish to integrate with: QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, or another accounting system via Simple XML. In this case, we'll select QuickBooks Online. From this link, we can actually start the integration wizard and request a connection ticket from QuickBooks Online, but I'm going to show you how to do that from the Billing tab. If you choose to use the wizard from the settings, simply click on the link and walk through the wizard. Next, we have our default options for the invoice. Here you'll specify what data you take from the Packet Trap ticket to the QuickBooks invoice. You'll also have these options when setting up a batch within the Billing tab, or you can set them here as default. We'll walk through that from the Billing tab, but again, you can do that here as well. Last but not least, there are some QuickBooks options for QuickBooks Online. The first checkbox is simply to mark your invoices to be printed when they arrive in QuickBooks Online. Obviously, this can be toggled on or off due to your preferences. Next is the QuickBooks default account name. If you've imported your items from QuickBooks, this is really insignificant. If you're creating new items within Packet Trap PSA and moving them over to QuickBooks as new items that don't exist within QuickBooks, you'll want to specify your default account name. Packet Trap PSA, by default, pushes all items over to the default account of other income. If you want to change that, simply type in the new account name. You can also set the default account name or the account name per item when setting up new items within Packet Trap PSA. This setting is only for items that you specify or create within Packet Trap PSA and you don't specify an account name. Now let's take a look at how this might look from the Billing tab. Let's navigate to our Billing tab, and here we are. A real quick overview of the Billing tab. We can see tickets that are ready to be billed or sent to QuickBooks Online. We can also see recent batches that have already been sent over to QuickBooks. In this example, we can see we have 4 batches that have been transferred successfully and 1 batch that has been created but has not been transferred yet. We can also see there are 2 tickets that are ready to be moved over from Packet Trap PSA to QuickBooks. So if you're going to set your options for QuickBooks Online from the Billing tab, what we'll want to do is create a new billing batch. Here, we have very similar batch options as we do in the Billing tab. If these are adjusted and you want to save them as default, just simply click here. Next, we'll want to select the tickets that we want to send to QuickBooks Online and simply save the batch. The next step would be to transfer these to our billing system, or in this case, QuickBooks Online. By clicking this button, we should be prompted to go to QuickBooks Online and get a connection ticket. To do that, click on the link and log in to QuickBooks Online. The login should be an admin. Next, what we'll want to do is just click Continue, that we want to set up a connection ticket. We can now name our connection ticket. By default, we'll have blue folder as our connection name. Quick tip here, you can have multiple people within your company that have access to import tickets from PSA into QuickBooks. Each one of those users will need to have access to the billing tab within Packet Trap PSA, as well as their own connection ticket. So in this case, I'm just going to call this Matt's PSA ticket. Once I've named my connection, click Continue. At this step, we'll need to select all accounting rights. Click Continue. Here, we talk through login security. We select No login security, and anyone who has basically this connection ticket accessing Packet Trap PSA with their username and password can send tickets from Packet Trap to QuickBooks. Next, we'll create a connection ticket. We copy, do a quick Control-C, the connection ticket, and simply click Continue. Our feedback is congratulations, we've set up a new connection. Now it's time to go enter our connection ticket into Packet Trap PSA. Simply paste the connection ticket and click Save. Let's go back and look at the batch that we created. We can see that our export to status is pending. Let's go ahead and transfer this to the billing system. Here we can see we transferred invoice 1070 successfully. We had an error of 1340 on our second transfer. If you'd like to find out what that error is, copy the error code and Google QuickBooks Online error code, in this case 3140, and you should be able to find the error pretty quickly and fix the problem. If not, feel free to contact our support team. In this case, QuickBooks is telling us that we have an invalid reference to Allstate customer. So let's go to our ticket, go to our customer. In this case, 3140 usually means there's a space in our customer name, which in this case, there is. We'll delete our space, click Save. Let's go back to our billing tab, pull up our partially transferred batch. We can either remove this or retry the failed items. We now have successfully transferred the ticket that was an issue. Let's go ahead and pull up QuickBooks Online. Take a look at what has happened here. So by going to the home screen, I can see our recent transactions. We've got a ticket 4,042,000 that has created an invoice. I'm going to pull up the invoice. We can see the balance due is $2,974.50. See our bill to and our ship to. You can see our invoice date. This invoice date can be changed when you set up your batch options within Packet Trap PSA. Down below, we can see our item, the date it was added to the Packet Trap PSA ticket, our description, and our tech notes. We see our quantity and our total. Here's all the labor that was used for this ticket, as well as in our batch options, we selected to send the ticket detailed description over. The invoice is totaled, and it can be marked to be printed. We also have a memo field referencing the ticket that created this invoice. Let's go back to Packet Trap PSA. We'll click on the ticket we just looked at in QuickBooks Online. And we'll go to the Billing tab. Within the Billing tab, using QuickBooks Online, we can see that the status is invoiced. This is the batch number that includes this ticket. we see the invoice date we set, and we can see the invoice in QuickBooks Online is 1070. So let's take a quick look at what we have in this ticket within PSA and what we can choose to send over to QuickBooks. First, on this ticket, we've got the overview, which includes the short description, which will be sent over in the top line of the invoice, as well as the ticket number, and the detailed description. This detailed description can be sent into QuickBooks Online, or within your batch options, it can be removed. Let's go ahead and look at our billing settings. Here, we could choose to include the service request details and notes as a line item on the invoice. Going back to the ticket, the next is to send our items over. Now, by default, we send the date the item was added to Packet Trap, the item name, and the item description. We can also, within your batch options, choose if you want to send over the item comments within each of these items. If you don't want to send those items over, again, simply navigate to the settings, general, look at the billing, and next will be the public items that are part of your labor, material, and expenses. Let's go back to our ticket. And again, look at the billing tab. Next is the date serviced. If we look at this item, we can see the date that this item was added to Packet Trap was March 5th, 2013. If we go back to our settings, general, billing, here we can choose to include or not include the date the item was added within Packet Trap in QuickBooks. Again, all of these options can be set as default, however, changed when creating a new billing batch by looking at the batch options. Last, let's take a quick look at how to access your connection tickets through QuickBooks Online. Again, log into your QuickBooks Online account, go to your account, and look at your connection list. Here we can see our connection, Matt's PSA ticket, it's active, and here's the date of our connection. So if you have, again, multiple users, you'll need to set up a connection ticket for each user and make sure that that user has access to the billing tab within Packet Trap PSA. You should now have a better idea about how to integrate your Packet Trap PSA account with your QuickBooks Online account. We walked through the billing options from the Settings tab. We also walked through the billing options from the Billing tab. We walked through getting a connection ticket via the integration wizard. Also shared tips and tricks on how to get your invoices to look right. For questions, feel free to follow up with sales@packettrap.com or support@packettrap.com.